Do you have a question? Ask me. This is Power Talk with Natalie Neita. Welcome to Power Talk with Natalie Neita. I have made this channel available so that you may ask me whatever questions you like, and I will try my best to give you the most accurate answers I can provide. I will do so weekly to allow for as many questions to be answered in a cumulative way. All right, so let's get started.
First question is from Arlene Johnson Brown, and she says, "Good morning, NP. Is there any plan to fix Arden Avenue in Strathmore Gardens? It is the worst it has been for a while."
Thank you for the question, and I am very pleased that you have joined me from Strathmore Gardens. A few years ago, we would have done 2 roads in Strathmore Gardens, one on which the children's home now resides, and the other is the main avenue coming into Strathmore, both of which have gone bad again, primarily because the drainage system there is so poor. One of the difficulties I face as Member of Parliament, especially in those areas which were developed without proper planning, is that there was no sufficient or no adequate plan made to place drains appropriately to take away the water from the road. So even if and when we do rehabilitate road surfaces, they quickly erode because of lack of drains. And so I have applied to the ministry to have a special look at scheme roads and the challenges they face, not only in Strathmore, but in Lakemore and Avon Park and Monticello and Ouse Avenue and Fordyce and all of those roads which I inherited from then Member of Parliament Miss Olivia Grange, and prior to her Mr. Bruce Golding. So a very difficult task, because scheme roads currently don't belong to any of the organizations or any of the institutions. They have not been taken over, they have not been properly handed over, and they were not properly constructed to begin with. Funding is just not available in abundance, and so what it will require to be able to properly fix and rehabilitate Arden Avenue is beyond what is afforded to me as Constituency Development Fund, which is only $20 million per year. And that $20 million per year, though it assists greatly in many areas, is unable to fix even one of those roads along that corridor. But we continue to try. I've applied through several agencies, and I know when the next government is formed, it is one of the issues that I will continue to advocate strongly on, because I believe that as taxpayers, you deserve the same attention that anyone else gets, and that what you are now facing really is untenable.
Question is from Beulah Reynolds. "Good morning, my friend. Are there any plans to fix the remainder of the West Prospect Road, and specifically referring to that section from Mr. Wilson going back to West Prospect proper? I'm suffering every time I ride through that area. The hurricane season is here, and this year is going to get the worst, causing more hardship for us who have to use it daily. Please, if you can help us, we will greatly appreciate your consideration."
Thank you for your question. I am very happy that you have extended to me your appreciation for what we have done on the West Prospect Road. The request, based on the estimate which was done, was to go from Nollis through West Prospect, through Cashew Walk to Duvall. That estimate was coming out to be somewhere close to $90 million. Of that amount, we were allocated $26 million. It therefore meant that we would only be able to do a section of the road. I met with the community, and they indicated in no uncertain terms that I needed to fix the worst part of the road leading into the community. I now consider this to be phase 1, and West Prospect now has, for the most part, a great road, asphalted concrete, or what we refer to as barber grade. I also look forward to completing that section which we had made a special representation to the National Works Agency to complete a section which was patched and not completely overlaid, and they have agreed to complete that section. The next phase will see us taking it from where we stopped to go all the way to Cashewalk and then to complete to Doval. I look forward to that day because West Prospect is a very good community and the people there are law-abiding citizens who really deserve the best.
Okay. Next question from Charmaine Anthony. Good morning. Why Veneta Road is like that? Pea water giving me asthma.
I'm not sure what that means. However, Venetia Road, as you might or might not know, is a parish council road. And while I continue to try my best to advocate strongly on behalf of all the roads in the constituency, it is the primary responsibility of the Ministry of Local Government. The major roads, which are central government roads, are my major responsibility. Hence, we're doing the road prepare now, across from the condensary down at Church Road, an area which has remained in disrepair for quite some time. I'm very happy that we're currently getting it done. I am, however, looking forward to fixing Venetia Road, as we have completed Wonder Lane, and we have done some road work on Hazard Lane and West Prospect. I'm looking forward. I did some remedial work there. It, however, was not enough. And I feel your pain, and I look forward to getting the allocation which is going to be sufficient to rehabilitate Venetia Road in short time.
Okay. Udell Temple, when is the next registration date for HART program in Sligoville?
Okay, so thank you, Udell. I know that the opening of 5 training centers in the constituency has been a great deal, big deal for us. There's the one now at Sligoville, there's one at Arcus Hall. We have reopened the Above Rocks Training Center. There's one at West Prospect, there's one at Commodore, and the latest addition is at Nollis in Bogwalk. At this point, we graduated the first 150 students from the first KD of unattached youth, and they did exceptionally well, so I'm very proud. We are awaiting the resumption of the new term, and we work closely with HART, and we await the testing date. We have registered sufficient students to start the new term. However, we are waiting to do the testing and to resume it so soon as HART decides it's appropriate given the COVID period.
Linda May Morrison, I'm in need of a farm work card. How do I get a farm work card?
Well, farm work cards, and Linda, female cards, male cards, they come on the same card. The application is the same process. The work assignment is different. However, I ask all the persons who are interested to apply at the office at Bogwalk, following which a determination is made, and then that application goes in when a request comes from the Ministry of Labor. So it is not always available. It is request driven, and then we send the recommendations in. So in the meantime, you can register at the office at Bogwalk. You will need a copy of your passport, the picture page of your passport, your TRN, your NRS, and your national ID. All right? I'm also hoping, Linda, that you would have done some training in either housekeeping or in hotel management or hospitality, so that you can also be considered for the hospitality program overseas as well. If that is so, then I would ask you to attach a copy of any certificates you would have had in those areas.
Errol Brown, why are you so sweet? That's a question I want to ask you.
Errol, you're making me blush. I don't know why. I don't know what your definition of sweet is, but God has blessed me tremendously, and I thank Him every day for what He has bestowed upon me. And certainly one of those things I think that keeps me going is His undying love and my love for the people I serve.
Raji R. Lewis, he has a three-part question, right? So I'm going to ask the part one first. If or when elected as the Member of Parliament, when the next election is called, what are your top 2 plans for the constituency / or the people you serve?
I'll answer them in 3 parts as well. 1, my top plan is to complete the process of getting potable water to the people of the constituency. It has been my pet peeve and the greatest level of advocacy I've done about anything else in my life. Not even for my own self have I advocated for anything as much as I've advocated for water in the constituency. I do have some challenges, and I have a challenge with how we have treated rural development as a nation over the years. And it is my hope and my strong belief that this next PMP government will give special attention to water, because we have recognized clearly that we have built superhighways, but we have not allowed for the ordinary Jamaican to have potable water, and I think it really is a shame. So I'm looking forward to that being my top priority. We have done quite a bit of training, scholarship, education grants in the constituency. I've watched that move from recipients totaling 20 to now over 100. And I have recognized that we have built the education stock in the constituency. And as such, I would like to be able to put in place some economic activity which will enable our people to earn, our young people to earn. It's one of the saddest things when a young person says, boy, you send me go get a skill and I can't find a job. And I understand that well. So whilst I know that training you does not guarantee you a job, and that's not necessarily my part of the work, because when I went to college, no one was able to guarantee me a job once I gained a degree. However, if you're not prepared for when those opportunities come, then you're not going to be able to make good use of those opportunities. So economic enablement would be number 2. Number 1 remains water.
As a current MP, what is one of the biggest challenges you face?
One of my greatest challenges is funding and how that impacts all of what it is that we do. Without adequate funding, we're not able to see a social safety net which covers the needs of our people. So as an MP, I really don't think I should be the one that somebody has to come to because they are in need of food. As an MP, I don't believe that I'm the one that people should come to because their children are not attending school. I can assist, but because I'm not in a position to assist all, it makes it very subjective. And because it's subjective, I go home at nights worried about those I was not able to get to. If the social safety net is at a place where it can facilitate the welfare of all our people, regardless of what their political leaning is like or which communities they come from, that once they meet the criteria, our social safety net needs to be able to capture and address the social ills that affect all of our people. I think that is one of my greatest challenge daily, because I take this job so seriously that I internalize a lot of what happens around me, and it affects me deeply. So I go home with every person's burden as my own. And it takes away from the developmental aspect of the community upliftment program, because you have to then you can't ignore the difficulties that families face, you can't ignore the challenges that young people face, you can't ignore the welfare problems, you can't ignore the people who are to be on path, who path is not capturing, you can't ignore the young people who are not able to go to school because they never got a birth certificate. And so our social safety net is not capturing, especially during this COVID time. I have found it a grave challenge because we're not able to get to all. The system needs to be at a place where the MP can be the person who is greatly focused on development of constituency rather than on the social welfare of individuals. It distracts from what needs to be done to improve the quality of life for all and to upgrade communities.
His last question. What plans do you have for the young people, especially unattached or delinquent youths that you represent?
Well, I tell people that as long as young people are in school, they fall under an umbrella. So once you're in school between age 3 and age 17 or 18, you fall under an umbrella. You have a purpose. You get up every day knowing that school is your agenda for today, and your parents will guide you, or your guardians will ensure that you are there daily. I don't believe we are transitioning well, and so I'm seeking to create a program that allows for the guidance which is required to take young people from secondary education either into tertiary education, into a training program, into a work program, or to be able to address where they are based on their own determination of what it is that they like. I don't believe we are doing much justice in that area. Students are leaving school without a plan. They're leaving school without a purpose. They're leaving school knowing that they only got one subject but don't have a clue what the next step is going to be. And I believe that my program, which is to look at the exiting from secondary school with the guidance counselors, how do we capture those young people and get them to recognize what it is they want to do and to steer them onto a path that they can make something meaningful of their lives. Every situation is different, so I can't give you a blanket answer of what it is that I will do for all young people, because each young person in his own right has drive, has talents, has special skills, and I believe that we need to assist them as parents, as communities, as representatives, as educators. We need to guide them to the next step where there's no umbrella.
Perfect. This question is from Kevin Burksfield. What did you get your master's in, and how did you fund yourself?
Oh dear. Hi Kevin, we're very familiar. You're a part of my scholarship program as well. I wish you continued success. I did my master's degree in labor relations management. Like everybody else, I had to get student loans. Parents, relatives. I worked part-time and sent myself through school as well. So a combination of all the above. You have to want it bad, and you have to want it enough to allow yourself to do all the things you can to push yourself through. I tell people they don't want to take out a student loan because they're gonna have to pay it back, and well, don't take out the student loan and you don't have anything to pay back or anything to gain. So you have to take a decision as to what it is you're going to do. I know it's tough, and some of you can't find guarantors, And that's why the next PMP government is going to remove the need for guarantors at the student loan level. Very important to us, because I've met so many of my young people who are so bright and who I think, if given the right opportunities, will do so well, not just here, but will take their skills internationally. And I think everyone deserves that opportunity. And whatever it is that I can do, I continue to do, as we continue to spend some $7 million annually on ensuring that our young people get an opportunity to get a tertiary level education.
Said, do you think that the JLP strategy of using an ex-Natalie to run against you is a way to undermine and confuse the electorates in the constituency? And what is your team doing to offset this strategy?
Well, I'm not sure of the JLP strategy. I've never really focused on the JLP strategy because I don't know what their strategy is. But I know what my strategy is and what my strategy has always been. I have remained genuine to the people. I have worked hard for the people. My hope to return for a fourth term is hinged entirely on whether or not people believe in me. They believe I'm genuine. They believe I've performed. They believe I have good intentions. They have seen my works, and that they're willing to allow me to continue. That work is backed up by, I believe, a great set of support systems in the constituency, a workforce that stands by me, a team of management and divisional heads who give me full support. I believe that the education that is required to allow people to understand that this is Natalie, the achiever who they know, Natalie, the genuine person who has rapped with them, who has loved them, who has been in their midst, who has been with them through good times and bad times. The Natalie who has built the bridge and built the basic school, the same Natalie who is going to continue to work hard to deliver the services that they require. And that I am Natalie Neita. Natalie Neita. And I remain the Neita one, really. Thank you.
Right. Will Emancipest be staged this year? If yes, what are some of the procedures which will be put in place to ensure the safety of locals and visitors?
Okay. Great question. I don't believe Emancipest will be held this year. We have already agreed as a team that it will not be held, primarily because it would go beyond the 250 persons gathering in one location, which is now allowed. So unfortunately, the event which Sligo Villians and people across Jamaica and some from within the diaspora have grown accustomed to having on July 31st and August 1st will not be held this year. I know a lot of people are sad and a lot of people are looking forward, but COVID really has changed our lives, and there are some new norms which I don't think Emancipest would fit into. Primarily because we have grown accustomed to now having anywhere over 20,000 patrons each year. We have, however, designed a community event which I will speak to at a later date. But this is primarily for those people in Sligoville who will number within that amount to not be in breach of the protocols put in place by the government.
All right.
But I look forward to Emancipest next year. And I pray that by that time COVID would have taken its leaf. And then we can go back to ensuring that we honor our ancestors and big up the first free village, Sligoville, every time.
Thanks, MP, for answering our questions. That's the end.
Okay, thank you.